only for local morning news. Fox 2 News Morning starts now.
And good morning to you. It is 4:30 on this Tuesday, June 23rd. I'm Jay Towers.
I'm Antoinette Jameson. Thank you for joining us. Our top story this morning, Mother Nature. A confirmed tornado caused heavy damage in the city of Portland, northwest of Lansing yesterday. The twister packed winds up to 100 miles an hour. It tore into homes, churches, and businesses, scattering debris and knocking down trees. Amazingly, no one was hurt, but the scale of the damage was overwhelming.
I was upstairs in my room and I had like all of my windows open, so there was like wind coming through, and at first I just thought it was really heavy rain, and then I saw like one of the trees in our backyard like rip off and go to the middle of the road, and then it only lasted a few seconds, like it didn't last that long.
A Goodwill store collapsed during the storm. A mother and two children were trapped inside but were rescued without injury. Two people were also pulled from a nearby Rite Aid store that suffered damage.
The National Weather Service is also investigating whether there were any tornadoes closer to Metro Detroit. Let's start in Sanilac County. Just after 10 o'clock, the Sheriff's Department reported a touchdown 5 miles northwest of the village of Decker. That's less than half an hour later. A trained spotter reported a touchdown northeast of the city of Deckerville.
And shifting to Tuscola County now, about 22 minutes after 10 last night, a tornado was reported by a local amateur radio roughly 5 miles southwest of Millington. There are reports of at least one home being destroyed. We're still working to find out if anyone was hurt there.
A little closer now in Lapeer County. After 10:40 last night, a trained spotter reported seeing a funnel cloud about 5 miles east of the village of Columbiaville.
And finally, closer to home in Washtenaw County, just after 1:30 this morning, a potential tornado was spotted northeast of Manchester. The Weather Service will send crews at first light to see if it can confirm all of these incidents. But the big question now, are we under the gun today? So Alan Longstreet joins us with some answers. Alan.
Well, luckily, no. We're calming things down.
Good.
Thankfully.
After it was a long, loud night.
Yeah, nice little stretch of weather. We'll be dropping those dew points, so less humid before long, by afternoon. But I want to start with radar, which is a couple hours.
Reports of a possible tornado touchdown in Manchester and Washtenaw County. Right now we have Mark Breckenridge, the Emergency Services Director for the Washtenaw County Sheriff's Department, on the line with us. He's been working around the clock. Good morning, Mark.
Good morning, Jake.
Thanks for being on with us this morning. We appreciate it. So, first of all, what can you tell us about a possible tornado?
Well, we think we found quite a bit of damage consistent with a tornado. It happened about 1:45 a.m. Just following the issuance of a tornado warning for southern Washtenaw County. And the damage was all reported from residences in the Manchester area, actually about 3 miles northeast of Manchester. And several homes have been damaged, garages and trees and power lines and so forth. And public safety personnel were able to get in there and count for everybody, and so everybody is safe. But it looks like it may have been a very brief, a short track tornado for about 2 or 3 miles there just outside of Manchester.
What type of calls did you get overnight? What were some of the emergency calls coming in? Were they for damage? Were they for injuries?
Well, the first reports we received were really for flooding, and a lot of persons complained about the frequency of the lightning, which is really quite astounding. But it was the flooding reports that came in first, and then we had some wind damage, some downed trees because a severe thunderstorm warning was issued, and that's typical that we receive reports like that. And then the tornado touchdown, or the possible tornado touchdown, followed those initial reports down in Manchester.
So if you're waking up early this morning in Washtenaw County and you have to get on the roads and head out to work, any advice? Are the roads passable and doing all right?
Yes, actually, I'm right now in Ypsilanti. I've taken a short tour around the county just to see how the roads are. They're wet. They're a little slippery. There is some ponding and standing water in some areas. We do have low-lying areas that have standing water and maybe even some minor flooding. There was a lot of rainfall, on top of the wind, on top of the lightning, and of course the potential tornado, the possible tornado. we think that we had a lot of rainfall that created some flooding, and that's going to be the most important thing to be careful of this morning.
And what do you recommend for people in Washtenaw County if they need to make a phone call this morning to either report damage or something that is impassable? What should, I mean, obviously a non-emergency line if it's not an emergency.
Well, yeah, they should notify the Washtenaw County Road Commission if it's a county or a state road or trunk line. The Road Commission handles all of the transportation-related issues related to our freeway and road system. If there's a blockage of a road, well, you know, where there's a tree down and it hasn't been marked, you don't have any flags indicating that it's been called in, any flares out or anything like that, you should probably contact the non-emergency number for Washtenaw County, which is 734-994-2911.
Mark Breckenridge, thank you so much for the information this morning and the update. We appreciate it, and stay safe out there. Thanks, Mark.
Yes, thank you.
Okay.
And we want to thank Eric Tallman for covering that story. We've got much more coverage on more stories about the severe weather in the Midwest and also in southeast lower Michigan as we continue to unfold a lot of the severe weather damage, and that is also a factor that the National Weather Service is investigating right now prior to several tornadoes in southeast Michigan. We'll be right back.